Sawadee Cup and welcome to another episode here for the Funk It Pod. It's Monday, you know what it means, MMA Monday, the one, the only, the original, back in your life. And as always, it's not a review show because there are 27 gazillion review shoes too, especially Nate Diaz wet shoes, 70 million review shoes and shows out there. F those rock shoes, by the way. I am trying to look into how the media has been used, could have been used, what the UFC could have done, what the media could have done, and so on. So it's going to be 10, 15 minutes of let's just talk about what happened in a short form, and then was the media used, did it make sense, was it smart, and so on. So let's start with the UFC, of course, because I just mentioned Nate Diaz, and what a ride into the sunset it was for Nate Diaz, right? Fantastic. Even Tony was kind of happy. I don't know. So that was just great, of course. The ending, poetic justice or poetic ending at 2:09 of the fourth round in 2022, basically 422. So it was just all perfect for Nate Diaz, right, in the end. Now, from a media point of view, in the beginning, the build-up was kind of weird because the UFC, the embeddeds have basically only showed Diaz eating and not doing much. It was a bit of a weird build, but I mean the social media team did show him love all the time. It's the OG and so on. So they did show him some kind of love. I think they could have done that better, but of course they don't want to build his star even more now that he's leaving. He had some nice words to say at the very end. He's he thanks the UFC. It's a love-hate relationship, but he thanks them for everything they have done. So it's kind of nice. Didn't burn all the bridges in the end, and said now he's going to take over another sport, chess, I guess. And then he might be back to have another title run or something, which never going to happen probably. But still nice to hear. So he's not F the UFC, F everybody. He's kind of happy now. I guess he got also paid really well for taking that short notice fight now eventually. So yeah, from a media point of view, I think the Diaz media team is smarter than they get credit for usually. So they're usually doing this quite well. Also now Ariel Helwani with some Nate Diaz highlights from over the past years and so on, or from the past years, a decade even, which is also building his star more if it's even possible. So that makes sense. The UFC could have done more, I think. Could have been build the legend even more, the future Hall of Famer and so on. But it's also understandable why they're not doing it, of course. But I think all the fight fans know who Nate Diaz is anyways, and they're not going to stop watching the UFC just because Nate Diaz leaves and goes somewhere else. So I think the UFC could have, and maybe even should have, with such a legend, done a bit more there. I know they're not doing it anyways, they never done it, but would have been cool to see, to utilize this a little bit more, also showcase his previous highlights and so on. Barely a mention of the McGregor fight from the UFC's point of view, because everybody else was talking about it. But yeah, so I think they could have done more there. But okay, that was the legend fight, riding into the sunset, all good. Tony Ferguson, on the other hand, I mean, getting long in the tooth, I don't even want to say, because Tony time. But yeah, it's hard. I mean, I like him in the press conference. He was all cool and happy and everything, and he says the right things now. He seems to have his mental state together. The new gym maybe takes a while to actually show some progress there. But he's still doing his CSO stuff on social media. So I think a bit more of a coherent media strategy would probably also be a good thing for Tony. But then again, he's an OG like Nate Diaz, so you follow them and you like them for the way they are, and not necessarily because they are being the smartest people on social media, but because they're real. So maybe that's just what makes him so unique. From a professional point of view, I think he should have a better strategy, a more coherent strategy that aligns with his next moves in the division. Now, if he stays at 170, what's he going to do? Who's he going to challenge? Call out on social media, blah, blah. You could have done it a bit more coherent, I think. But again, Tony we don't love Tony for being coherent, right? So maybe that works, but I think the media also doesn't really help him there. So but the media only helps itself anyways. Kevin Holland, Khamzat Chimaev, we all hate Khamzat now, of course. Totally agree, totally unprofessional, and he's celebrating and having fun while missing weight. Yeah, super unprofessional, not cool at all. Even if it's a conspiracy and planned, what a few people suggest, act a little bit better. They're doing lots of social media or media content, of course, but like Block Asset and stuff with Darren Till and so on. It's a bit cheesy by now, I think. Also, the Block Asset thing is just now everywhere. It's a bit too much, in my opinion. They could tone it down a little bit, because too much overexposure is never great, and especially if Darren Till is one of the key players in all your media content that you're having, and Darren Till hasn't won a fight in how long? And it's becoming a bit cringe right now, right? So if Darren Till wins against Dricus du Plessis, then maybe we can talk more about that, and the videos are more fun again because he's actually winning, even though du Plessis is not the biggest name out there, but at least it would be a win for Darren Till if he makes it to the octagon, if he makes it to the fight. But until then, it's a bit like, dude, you haven't fought him forever, so maybe tone it down a little bit. Khamzat could have been a bit more humble now. I mean, he ragdolled Kevin Holland, which is not the greatest feat, because everybody ragdolls Kevin Holland, like everybody with a ground game. It wasn't cool that he was shot for the takedown when Kevin Holland tried to touch gloves. Also not smart of Kevin Holland to go for the glove touch when you're facing someone like this who you have beef with. Didn't look like it afterwards, why they were hugging afterwards. So this seems like the beef was just a fake beef. Great. But that's about it. So I think the whole Khamzat hype train should slow down just a little bit, especially in the wake of what just happened, and maybe not pump out content all the freaking time. For Kevin Holland, he should also be just a bit more. I mean, no, he's doing a thing. He's probably just going to stop another crime tomorrow, which is cool. He's never going to learn to wrestle, apparently. So he's going to be the mid-card nice guy that people just like to see, I guess. So media-wise, he's doing a good job on social media, being himself. He's not going for a title run or anything, so he doesn't need a better strategy, I think, because he's going to be the guy. He's going to be like the Cowboy Cerrone kind of guy. Like, we need a fighter. Hey, Holland, you're up. Yeah, let's go. So he's going to be that guy. So he doesn't need a better strategy, I think, because he's just that guy for the UFC, and they're going to be happy with that. So being himself on social media probably works best in his OnlyFans. If anyone subscribes to Kevin Holland's OnlyFans, let me know if that's really working out well or what's on there. Can't imagine. But yeah, so that was, from a media point of view, it was a cool pay-per-view, but not that exciting in regards to what's going to happen next, because Diaz is riding into the sunset. Tony Ferguson, 170 now, first loss there, but the fourth loss in a row. So implications for Khamzat Chimaev not really big, because everybody expected him to win that fight. Also, after the weight miss, you can't make him a contender. Kevin Holland, Li Jingliang versus D-Rod, great fight. Li won. Hey, judges, Li. The scorecards that came out. So you can have a 29-28, right? Definitely, you can. But definitely not the way the judges score. Like, what the fuck? What? The one scorecard where Jing Liang lost 28-29, the judge gave him the third round, meaning he lost the first two rounds. What? Ridiculous. So that was terrible judging. Oh my god! So you can have a 29-28 for D-Rod if you. I saw the lead to winning clearly, to be honest. Dana White agrees, which doesn't mean much, but the scorecards were insane. The commentary was also terrible, by the way. The commentary was D-Rod dick riding the whole time. I don't know why, because in the first two rounds I had it for the lead. I don't know, whatever. But Li Jingliang, you're the man. You saved that card, fighting a dude 10 pounds heavier, like on 1 day notice. I hope he got paid, and he should not suffer for that loss. He should be still in the same mix that he was before. Tony Ferguson fight still next. Let's do it. He suffers a bit from, of course, the language barrier, unfortunately. Otherwise, he's such a cool dude, a nice dude. He says insightful things, even though the wire translator. So I wish he would be more in the media, to be honest. I understand he's Chinese and difficult relationship with the US and so on, but he's cool. I want to see more of him in the media. I think just highlight him. Maybe they would also get like more of the Asian Americans / even the Asian community involved in the UFC and stuff. So I want to see more of the Leech there. He could also, but he's got it right. He's got like the right management. So I think they could push a bit more here in regards to his social media content as well, maybe. Because I think now more people really like him. Like on Twitter, everyone's like, "Hey man, the Leech saved the card. He's cool." So I think now's the time to push the Leech. Do it. Push the Leech management team that I just forgot the name of, that big one where everybody is. So they're also his management team, I think. So push him. Go push the Leech. D-Rod, I mean, it just was not a convincing performance. So I don't know. His media appearances usually are nice. Like he's well spoken-ish for judging a book by its cover for the way he looks. You wouldn't assume that he's like that well-spoken / mannered. So I had nothing against him, and I think usually his media appearances are nice, cool, calm and collected. That's what everyone likes to say. So I do like it. I just don't think he did enough to win, and he could have been a bit more humble in regards to like his victory. But then again, no one's going to say, "Yeah, I lost that fight," right? So understandable. Okay, that's about it. Overall, the presentation was fine, I think, of this UFC event. When we talk about the media again, while my neighbors are, I don't know, drilling a hole in their car or whatever it was. He went right through the doors. I hope it's not too bad in the background. I'm trying to fix it post recording. So the whole presentation was fine again, I think. It's just another Las Vegas event, so it's all the same by now, but it's always nice. So nothing more to say there. I hope it's going to be more unique than for the other pay-per-views when they're not in Las Vegas. Oh, it's going to be the next one is in Abu Dhabi, right? And then afterwards in Las Vegas again. I like those pay-per-views, especially when they're somewhere else, because it just feels different. Even the how they portray it just feels different. But okay, let's see about that. Doing another one then, of course, for the next pay-per-view at least, maybe even for Corey Sandhagen coming up now, I think next week already on a fight night. It should be interesting. I hope he can bounce back. All right, so enough UFC though. One championship not happening yet, happening on the 30th of September. So we're going to do like a deep dive the week before, of course, telling you who's fighting, what to expect, what are they doing, and so on. For the PFL, I think the biggest thing that happened in the media was that they signed Thiago Santos Marreta, right? Surprised, I didn't even know that he was gone from the UFC, and now he's signed for PFL. So good job, PFL, getting him. I think he's a decent addition to the heavyweight division. Could have made a bigger deal out of it in the media instead of just like one post, but okay. Anyways, the PFL media, well, I wanted to hate on it, but it's still better than Bellator. Bellator still sucks. All things media, terrible job still. Anyways, the PFL, signed Santos. That's cool. Let's see what they do with it. They're still like leaps and bounds behind the UFC when it comes to how to use media to push and make a push in the public, but let's see how it goes. Lastly, BKFC Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship had their Thailand event, and they signed one of the biggest stars ever in Thailand, Buakaw, like a Muay Thai legend. My t-shirt right now, if you're watching, it says Muay Thai on it. A Muay Thai legend, first bare knuckle boxing fight. He won by knockout or by TKO, liver shots, and nobody saw it in Thailand. Nobody saw it / nobody cared. So BKFC, they signed Buakaw, they signed the GOAT of Muay Thai, Saenchai. If you don't know who that is, search on YouTube Saenchai, Saenchai, Saenchai. Insane. A bit sad to take away all the other limbs and just constrain to boxing, but okay, if the money is right, fine, but you gotta do more. If you sign those the two biggest legends of the sport, you gotta do more with it. Like, no one here in Thailand knows BKFC and what's happening, why Buakaw is fighting there. Like, you gotta do more. people. BKFC. If you need help, let me know. But this is right now. It's super disappointing. While the event was on, the social media was terrible. The social media was like, okay, happening soon. Hey, and that's it. You take a book out of the UFC's of Bellator's. Even take a book out of Bellator's playbook, a page out of Bellator's playbook. Like, at least they post during the events what's happening and stuff like this. The BKFC was terrible. BK, if you need help, let me know. Seriously, disappointing. Okay, but that's enough of like what happened in the media this week in the media in terms of MMA and so on. I hope we're getting back on track to doing this on a weekly basis now. Sometimes life happens, but we're trying to be back here and now continuously every week. Just for you. Until then, as always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. That would be really cool. Rate the thing on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, wherever you're watching it, because then more people can find it, and then we can have a bigger and broader discussion, which is always welcome. Until then, stay safe, take care, keep your guards up. Sawadee Cup.